What's up everyone? Welcome to a new video on the channel. Welcome to Sim Horizon 5 again. And I'm going to be trying some of your tunes again for today's video. If you're new to the channel and you like the series or the videos or whatever, and maybe you want to send over some tunes yourself, feel free to do so. That's over on the Discord. You can go on to the actual Discord down in the description box below, click on it, join it, and you can also send over some tunes that could be featured in one of the future videos. But like I said, if you are new to the channel, subscribe if you like this sort of stuff, like it, comment, share, whatever you want to do. But for today's video, as you can see by the title of it, I'm gonna try some people who are new to the whole tuning game. So basically, when you get a car in this game, obviously you get the options to build it yourself, but you also have the option to go and download someone else's tune. So this whole series is me basing it around people in the Discord, people who decide to send over the tunes, you know, people that have worked hard on their tunes and stuff like that. And basically, I wanted for this video to pick people that said this is my first tune, because it's fun when those people start tuning, right? You know, they expect to have at least a bit of constructive criticism or a bit of advice on how the tune works and stuff like that. And usually when I do it, I'm not trying to be mean to people saying that their tune is bad. I'm just trying to say, you know, there's ways you can build this thing to make it better, and people take that to good heart, which is good, because that's exactly how I want it to be. And I've had, like I said, some people now send over some tunes to me and share some stuff to basically for me to try them and to give them a little bit of advice, hopefully, on how to build their cars a little bit better if they're brand new to the series. So this guy sent over the tune. It doesn't say what car it's for. It's his first drift tune apparently, and he said he's expecting some criticism to help improve it. Good. That is the wrong thing that I'm going into. What am I doing? Tunes. So let's go to this. Search the code. 997244704. First drift tune. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, so he's immediately gone with the drift suspension, drift tire compound. He's left it rear wheel drive, which is good. He's also gone for a rear engine car as his first build. Maybe don't go for rear engine cars for a little while. They drive differently to your regular front engine and rear wheel drive cars, which would be like the standard. The front of this car is super lightweight. Like, it's very light. So it's a bit different. You have most of the weight of this car basically sitting on the rear axle, making this very rear heavy, the front end being really light. So it'll handle a little bit differently to every other car. Okay, so that's the first bit of criticism that I'll give you, just because you said this is your first drift tune. Okay, other than that, you can start tuning these. You can go mess around with these cars and make them for drifting all day long. That's all good and dandy. But like I said, if it's just one of your first tunes here, try and mess around with a front engine rear wheel drive car, because they're a lot more balanced and you'll basically feel how they drive. And sometimes they're slightly front heavy as well, depending on their engine, but mostly they're very well balanced. So this thing has 1,135 horsepower. It weighs 1,000. Oh yeah. Well, I was about to say it weighs 1,000 kilos, but it's not. That's the torque. So this thing makes 1,135 horsepower, weighs 1,100 kilos, and makes 1,000 Newton meters of torque. He's used drift suspension, drift tire compound, and he's left it rear wheel drive. I'm gonna put this on and try it. Let's see what it's like and what this person has done with this 911. I'm pretty sure it is still in Porsche, isn't it? I'm blind. I think it's still a Porsche. I just have to scroll to it. Yeah, it is here. Let me swap over to this thing and add the tune onto it. I feel like it's gonna be a little bit overpowered, but I think because it's rear wheel drive, it should be quite good. It shouldn't be too bad. I'm pressing like all the wrong things today. I don't know what's wrong with me. Seriously. Anyway, slap that on and see what this thing is capable of. Okay, so slower. It's got a massive amount of turbo lag. Huge amounts of turbo lag. It's really grippy. And again, that, like I said, the front end is just incredibly light. Okay. I think the tires that you gave it are just a little bit too grippy. There's no like lateral grip. You see how easy it is for me to slow down when I do that? It's like in the lower gears there's like no grip, and in the higher gears like I can literally drive this car regularly. Like I don't have to drift this car if I don't want to. See, like I could just drive it like a race car. This has way too much grip. It's got way too much grip. It's basically built like a race car, but with a little bit more camber, from what I've seen with those front wheels. Yeah, okay. So, let me show you real quick here something, right? Look at the front and rear distribution for weight. It's 42% over the front, and basically the rest of it would be 58%, all hanging over the rear axle. It's pretty uneven when you do something like that. Here for a front wheel drive car, because the engine's in the front, as well as this being a front wheel drive, 59% of the front, obviously. But if I go over to, let's say, a BMW, which are very notorious for being perfect 50-50 weight distribution cars, this one, 51% of the weight over the front, and basically 49% on the back, almost a perfect 50-50 weight distribution car. This was 52, it's got bigger engine, makes more sense. The E92, again, almost the same. That almost the same. CLK GTR. Like, all of these cars are almost perfect 50-50 weight distribution. Again, this is a mid-engine car instead of a front engine. So as you can see, power, or sorry, not power, but the weight is more over the rear wheels. And again, the same thing with all these cars. A lot of them, except for a few exceptions, like I said, like this, for example, where it's got a big fat engine on the front, 7.5 litre on the front end. Of course, this thing will be front heavy. But like I said, with a few exceptions, try to build your cars as front engine rear wheel drive, especially if it's your first time building cars. It'll be a little bit more balanced. So, let's drive this thing. I'm not going to take this thing online because I feel like I'm just going to struggle a lot with it online. I feel like I should take this thing around either sub-track or on the mountain pass, because I think the mountain pass would be a good place for me to test this thing out on and see what it's like. I like the Gunter Works. I think it's a really, really good car in general to drive. I'll show you some stuff though in a second. I'm not going to do a full run of this mountain pass, but just enough to show you what you've done wrong to the car, pretty much, or what you should kind of fix. So, my first thing is, especially if it's your first build, like your first drift build, try to have less power. Less power and less grip. I think it's so much better. Instead of you doing like 100 miles an hour around the corner, I'd rather you learn how to drive properly. Like, initially drive properly. With lower horsepower cars and lower weight, and then try to build tunes for higher horsepower cars. Because then you'll understand it a little bit better. And I know you said this is your first tune, but like, if you're a really, really good drifter as well, you wouldn't let this fly. I'm sliding it because pretty much drifting in this game is easy. You can slide whatever you want. Like, you can even slide like open diff cars in this game. That's like, it's how stupid it is. It's just really, really easy. But like I said, it's got so much grip, it honestly feels like an all-wheel drive car. Until you change over into fourth and you just have to go faster. Like, third gear just doesn't feel fast enough. I really want to test out these gears as well. Like, third gear just doesn't feel like you can go fast enough in it, and then fourth gear just feels like it's way too long. So I don't know if you've adjusted or haven't adjusted the gear ratios at all. But I'm doing 126 in third. And in fourth, I'm almost positive I can do like 200 in fourth. That's a big jump. But it's also the tires as well. I feel like the tires... How wide are these tires as well? Let me have a look at these. Real quick here. Did you give it like super, super wide tires? I can't see a damn thing. So let me do that real quick. They are pretty chunky, I'll tell you that. I still can't see a damn thing. What's happening here? Contrast, bring that contrast down. There we go. Now I should be able to see. Okay, yeah, I can see now. Yeah, they're pretty chunky. They are chunky boys. And not only that, it looks like you made them wider. I don't know if you did or not. I mean, it's a great looking car, don't get me wrong. But I honestly feel like it's got way too much grip. The one thing you definitely didn't need is even wider tires. Again, lots of turbo lag. I think this thing, NA, would probably drive a little bit better. And if you gave it worse tires. When you're selecting tires, always look at the grip. And there's also a couple of things you should learn about the tires. And that is the lateral grip. Which means, like, right now, my rear tires, even though I'm sort of accelerating, I'm accelerating at an angle, if that makes sense, right? So basically, I'm not pushing the car in a straight line. I'm pushing it sideways. So the lateral grip of these tires are pretty bad. For drifting, I mean. Like, they're very, very good for racing. I don't know why they decided to get, you know, drift tires in this game. And they made them so grippy. I don't know. Maybe if you have like thousands and thousands of horsepower on these cars and they're tuned properly, yeah, then yeah, maybe. I don't know. The drift tires just don't seem to do it for me, in my opinion. Yeah, the gear ratios need a little bit of work. They're not linear enough. Like, I feel like I'm accelerating in third and then when I change to fourth and I drop like 5,000 revs. It just feels awkward to drive. Again, too much grip. I think power is fine. I feel like you can work around the power and stuff like that, but let me change this tune. And I'll show you what I mean by worse tires. Okay, I've pretty much given it the exact same amount of power. Now I'm going over into the wheels themselves and I can actually see what this person has bought before. Because it says owned on them. So here, as you can see, he's bought the drift tire compound. And you can see the grip going down from the original you know, grip that the car actually has or comes with. And then you can also see that he's ended up buying the thickest or the widest tires possible for this. So it's got 275s in the front and it's got 345s on the rear. You do not need 345 section tires when sliding a car like this. I'm telling you now, it is completely useless for doing that. Now, let me show you the difference between these tires that you have added on and the snow tire compound. You can see that the grip is a little bit less. Not by much, but it is a little bit less. However, I want to show you the difference now in the actual build because of the snow tires and the lateral grip that this car actually has right now. So let me go ahead and pretty much lighten this thing up as much as I possibly can. And pretty much do the exact same stuff that you ended up doing to your car. Except obviously mine's going to be different. He's put the race transmission in it, which is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. He's put a drift diff on it, which I think also kind of ruins it. Because you need a locked diff. I don't know if you ended up blocking this thing. Get the off-road diff instead of the drift diff. It's better. You can just lock it, or it's automatically locked for you. You don't have to do anything there. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to touch anything else on this car. I think maybe the weight is a little bit different. I can't remember exactly if you ended up changing the wheels or not on this car. The weight could be slightly different. But let me show you guys real quick here. So again, with the gear ratios, I don't know if you've done anything. Or maybe it's just the way the grip is or the way the diff is built or whatever. All I'm doing right now is I'm just stretching the gears out just a little bit because I know for a fact, because this thing has over 1,000 horsepower, I'm just going to be banging every gear off the limiter. Look at the difference now versus the ultra grippy version of the car that you sent me. Look at how easy this is. I'm not even redlining it. I'm not flooring it or anything like that. I'm controlling my throttle. I'm not flooring it. I don't have to. That's the thing with it, right? It's better to have more power and you just don't floor it. You don't use all of it. You just control the power than it is to have so much grip that the power that you have is completely useless. You know what I mean? So, watch this, right? I'm going to take this thing downhill. Again, I'm not going to do a full run, but just to show you. Very basic stuff. Again, I'm not even flooring it right now. I don't know how you got so messed up with your gear changes and stuff like that. And now it's the smoothest thing in the world. And I know these are smooth. Again, like I said, the front end is super, super lightweight. You just push it along. And look at how nicely it still slides sideways without me even accelerating. Because these tires are so bad, I guess, for grip. You can also use the handbrake and it starts going wide. It's so much smoother to drive like this compared to the amount of grip that you had before. Again, like I said, you don't need 1,000 horsepower. This car doesn't need 1,000 horsepower right now. But I just built it with the same power and sort of the same upgrades that you had on up until I got to the tires and the diff. That is pretty much it. Look, even in 5th now, you can push the car out. It's just so easy. Like this. And definitely try to learn how to drive like this. Like I said, you don't need 1,000 horsepower and you don't need the drift tires. The drift tires just feel like every time people just add drift tires on it and they expect the car to be good. It's just, for whatever reason in this game, they're just too grippy. And again, control the throttle, control the steering, and it's just so easy to push the car forward. And you get all the points you want if you want points. I'm not even keeping like huge amounts of angle here. I'm showing you the control that I can have with a car like this. Versus when I was driving yours, when, like I said, it just had too much grip. It's just really nice. It's really, really lovely to drive. Again, like I said, work on your tuning, and you should definitely get there one day and be able to create some pretty interesting stuff. Now, again, like I said, if it's people that are brand new to tunes, they won't actually know the difference between the drift tires and snow tires and stuff like that that people end up using in this game. So, I guess, hopefully, I helped with that one. Right, let's try someone else's tune. I have another person here that says it's his first tune. It's a B class, apparently best for circuit races. Let's give it a shot and see what this person has created for whatever car. I don't know what car this is because he hasn't actually said at all either. So my first tune, 161103218 is the tune. Okay, it's a Clio, a Williams Clio. Race suspension, race tire compound, and it's all-wheel drive, and it's B class. You managed to get all of that stuff on a B class Clio. That's actually pretty impressive. I thought adding race everything on it would, and all-wheel drive as well, would probably get this thing to be way past B class, but I guess no. Right now, there we go. Where's the little Clio? I haven't actually driven this thing yet, so I have no idea what it's like. But all-wheel drive again for B class. See, I don't know if that is useful, okay? Because I feel like you could maybe squeeze out a little bit more power. Again, you only have 206 horsepower. I feel like all-wheel drive is... What did that say? Road racing B class best for circuit races. That's fine. I just feel like you don't need all-wheel drive. You can even keep this thing as a front-wheel drive. Oh my god, you even have the air on it and everything. Okay. Well, I'll give it a shot on B class circuit races like you said. So let's go over into the rivals events. Go to this. Probably even do just the first circuit here. I feel like we could try that, or even this one here, or this one. Yeah, let's do this one. This one's nice and short. It should be pretty easy to try out. Again, B class. I haven't actually done a run in any B class car in this event yet, so let's use this. Let's see what it's like. Again, like I said, I feel like this thing isn't gonna be incredibly quick. Because of the amount of race stuff that you added on, I don't think you were able to change much of the power of this thing. Again, it makes 200 horsepower, so it's not like it's gonna be slow. Don't get me wrong, but all right, let's give this a shot and see. Let's see. I mean, it's B class, but okay, it grips really, really well. Oh, you gotta change those gear ratios. I'm topping out at 6th now. Unless it's for like really, really tight tracks. If you start having slightly longer tracks than this, I mean, you're just gonna bang off limiter. But this is it. I'm 6 gears in and doing 113 miles an hour. Like, I barely have to slow down for some of these corners, though, which is kind of funny. With this car, it's got so much grip. Coming out of corners is very good. It's weird to think this is B-class. Seriously, when you're going around corners. You just don't slow down. Yeah, gear changes are quick. I'm pretty sure you have the racing clutch as well. I'm going to continue to do one lap. That's a rolling lap, and just to see. For this track, actually, the gear ratios don't honestly seem too bad. I don't know. It's got so much grip and not enough speed, in my opinion. Like, I still think that you could have done without all the all-wheel drive system. I don't know if that makes it. I don't know how that happened. How I ended up sliding out with race tires, but I guess I did. I expected this thing to have more grip, what I just did there, but I guess not. Probably should have braked a little earlier. Yeah, for this track it feels pretty good, honestly. I still don't think you need all-wheel drive. Not for B-class. I think for B-class you could have just kept front-wheel drive on this thing. You just need a good diff setup though, if you're gonna do front-wheel drive. Okay. Yeah, for some of these corners, I feel like I can go so much faster with this car. Like I said, it has so much grip that I honestly feel like I don't need to slow down for a lot of the corners because I'm not really driving fast enough anyway for it. It's a good car. I can't really say that it's bad because it just isn't. For your first actual tune for racing, it's really not a bad build at all. I'm gonna go back. I want to see what sort of times people are getting around me and what sort of cars they're using. But I want to build something similar, and I want to keep it front wheel drive instead, and just give it a little bit more power, and see what it's like then. I feel like it'll understeer a little bit more, so you just have to be careful with the way you're driving it. But again, with the race tires, all the air on it, race suspension, race everything, I feel like this thing could actually perform really, really well, even as a front-wheel drive car. Again, like I said, I just feel like it's going to understeer quite a bit though. So I just have to be careful with that. Let's have a look at this leaderboard real quick with this thing and see where I am. Again, this is my fastest run that I've done because I've never done a B-class run on this track. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. 2,500th in the world. That isn't too bad. I'm gonna try to do the same thing though with this car that you've pretty much done, except change it and keep it as a front-wheel drive, which means I can add a tiny bit more power. Okay, well, this is the setup that I have now. That's a tiny bit differently to yours. So I have the Forza Air on it, like you did. I have the same tires that you put on, which is the semi-slick tires. I thought it was the slick tires, but obviously that brings it up a lot. But here's where my car differs to yours quite a bit. You ended up adding these brakes, where I dropped down to these brakes instead, because I'm not actually going that fast for me to slam on the brakes that late. Race suspension is fine. I've done the same thing. He hasn't done a weight reduction at all on this car, whereas I did, which would probably get this thing to accelerate a little bit quicker if I do that. Here, pretty much haven't actually touched this thing at all. Probably should. I'm going to give it some sports transmission over there. Also, better clutch. And obviously the diff is the one thing that I actually forgot to change completely on this thing. So race diff there. And that's pretty much fine. Also here, he had a turbocharger bought for his. I put a supercharger on it instead. Just because I have a little bit more of a linear power then. And again, just some parts here to upgrade it to bring the power up. So now I have 217 horsepower, which isn't actually much, or it was very similar, wasn't it, to the way his was. However, my car is lighter than his as well, because I've done some weight reduction, which he actually didn't do at all. So let's go ahead and try this thing out. I'm gonna slap a quick little tune on this thing. Obviously, get these gears to not be as long as these, and we should be fine. Okay, now with my basic little tune, I put myself as my rival, and I'm gonna give this thing a shot and see if I'm faster or slower with this thing being front-wheel drive compared to the dude that actually sent me the tune who made it all-wheel drive that I think it just doesn't need. Okay, let's give this a shot and see. I feel like grip-wise I should be very similar around corners and stuff like that because I don't think I've done much differently to what he has done. However, obviously launching this thing now, it's going to be different. I'm also not changing gears as fast as he is because I think he put like a race clutch on it as well, whereas I didn't. Because I don't think you need it. Like once you're rolling, I don't think you actually need it. Well, I'm definitely faster than him around here. Struggling a tiny bit here, but like here as well, I'm just faster up until I get to this point. Tap of the brakes. Yeah, I still have no understeer. I have no understeer with this car, even as a front wheel drive. So there you go, you don't actually need all-wheel drive at all for this car. I feel like this could be a little bit better if you're driving with manual clutch though. I don't think it's going to be, like I said, much difference when it comes to cornering, because I feel like the grip is just going to be the same. The thing is, I'm just faster now because I added a little bit more power. I still think you can add more power on this car and get it to still drive just as well. But look at that. In my first rolling lap, I'm already ahead. Smooth around the corners. Get the flag. Here you can brake really late, even with the worst brakes. And just accelerate out of the corner. Again, you don't need all-wheel drive for lower class cars like this. And look, I'm significantly faster. Almost a full second faster. I'm gonna do one more lap with it. Let's see what else I can do here. Maybe in some of the corners I can drive a little bit better. But, yeah. When it's low stuff like this, you can even keep it front wheel drive. And you're doing just fine. Like I said, I'm probably going to get a little bit of understeer. I'm not getting any of it. I feel like the grip on this guy is way too good to get any sort of understeer on it. Then again, you can just keep it floored. It's just that extra little bit of power, and it makes it just significantly faster. Then the all-wheel drive too, and again you can do a little bit of trail braking, where you just sort of brake in the corner. There you go. And just like that, I think I'm even faster than my previous lap. Bring down what, 57 dead, and I'm probably gonna go even faster again now. Again, with some better driving. It's just you don't need all-wheel drive for lower class cars like this. Overall, though, the tune, I mean, has a lot of grip. It goes around corners very, very well. I don't think it's a bad tune at all. The one that you made, like, that was a bad voice crack. But I don't think your tune is bad at all. I really don't. I think the suspension setup and whatever it works. It's fine. I just don't think you need all-wheel drive, and I think you sacrificed some power of this car that you could have had if you just left it as a front wheel drive and just taken the I was about to say taking the less grip, but I mean it doesn't really have less grip. Okay, I was a little bit more fluid with those corners, so I think I'm a little bit faster again this time around. If it puts me in the 56s, I'm just gonna leave. Oh my god, I'm still in the 57s. Just give me the 56. I want to see a 56 pop up. Okay, seems promising. Yep, there you go, 56.9. Okay, we'll take that. Again, like I said, not a bad tune, the one you had, but you could improve it slightly. And hopefully, this video helped. I'm definitely down to do like more stuff like this, where I have like newer tuners, because I feel like they'll be kind of embarrassed to share their new tunes and stuff like that. It's perfectly fine. Everyone was a brand new tuner at one point. Like, even I'm still not a very, very good tuner in this game, but I'd say I'm pretty good in terms of building cars. I kind of understand the mix of you know, tire, suspension, all that sort of stuff, especially for each class. There's a lot of different videos online where people have created some very good tutorials on how to build cars for specific things, you know. Hoki Hoshi is one of them. He's made some really, really good videos in the past, or a good video in the past that he's created on building cars, and go and watch that if you want to see anything there. 1237 is the final final placement on that leaderboard, which is fine. I wasn't actually trying to go for top 1000. I just want to try to go for sub 37. But like, even launching this thing, like, unless you do that, you won't end up like spinning your wheels. Like, if you're launching just off the spot, you have the tiniest bit of slip. But again, if you're playing in rivals and stuff like that, or even if you're doing any sort of like actual B-class races, you should still be able to do very well with this thing. Like I said, it's just, you don't need it has so much grip as a front wheel drive still. You just don't need to have it as an all-wheel drive when it's this low class. I seriously think even with lower spec tires or lower class tires, you could probably do really, really well still. Maybe even stock brakes, which means you can increase the power even more. You can probably try and do that. I don't know. You guys can try yourselves. But thank you for the tunes for today's video, and hopefully I helped you guys at least a little bit in understanding some of the things about the whole drifting and the lower class racing, which is what we took a look at in today's video. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, everyone. Like I said, if you want to see more videos like this on the channel, or if you want to just send over some tunes, then of course all you have to do is just follow the Discord, and of course subscribe to the channel. Follow the Discord and go over there into the specific channel and send over the tunes, and I'm definitely down to try them out. And yeah, thank you to all the new people that have joined the Discord, and the people who have sent me the tunes today, of course. But that's it for me. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. I'm about to overtake this, alright. See you later, alright. Oh, he's crashed.